I'm supposed to cram the genius that is Tamsyn into 3 minutes or less. That's insane. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this in 3 minutes. I think Tamsyn is probably the only person on planet Earth who could make me tongue-tied and starstruck. I wish that I could explain how good of a writer Mir actually is, but I need like an hour twice a week for an entire school semester to really break it down. I don't know how to talk about NONA without talking about Gideon and Harrow first, so I'm going to do a quick flash breeze through and then talk a little bit more about NONA. Gideon was a masterpiece. Gideon was hilarious, funny, sharp, smart, emotional, meaningful. I connected with those characters in such a deep and like spiritually visceral way. Harrow was a masterpiece. I think Harrow was a triumph of literature. It had mixed reception when it came out because people were expecting like the story as Gideon was told. They were expecting continuation of that. But I think Harrow showcased exactly the kind of command of language that Mir really has. To me, it cemented her as just like a weapon of literature. And Nona's no exception. Nona is no exception. It is a continuation of Mir demonstrating exactly how brilliant of an author she is. One of my very dear friends told me something incredible, and I try to tell people this when I push them into reading, when I bully them lovingly into reading The Locked Tomb. You have to read all 3 books as their own experience. Don't read Gideon expecting Gideon's style and voice to continue for the entire series. You're reading 3 very distinct experiences and embrace them as such. And when you do embrace them, you open yourself up to exactly how genius all 3 of them are. Okay, so about Nona, this book is, oh my gosh, this was so good. I was sitting in my chair reading this book, and it was like, God, 7:30 at night, and I'm like rationalizing away, like, you don't really need to eat dinner. You don't need to make food. You can just keep reading. It's fine. Grab something small. Girl, get up and eat dinner. I had to like bully myself into putting it down so I would do basic human functionality. I think Mir just has such a masterful way of making you not want to look away and not want to leave this space. I don't want to leave. Like, I actually stalled on the last like 25 pages. I read them so slow because I was like, I don't want to be done, because when I'm done, Electo's not out. And if Electo's not out, then I just have to sit there and what? Wait? And she's constantly commenting on like indigenous identity and what it means to harbor internalized racism and what queerness means. And like, I'm constantly so impressed by the characters she builds and the world that she's created. It's bizarre, but in like a way that you just accept and love. And like, I can't even explain it. How do I fit this into 3 minutes? I don't even know. I think I've rated all 3 of these books 5 stars. And Nona's no exception. This is a 5-star book. This was brilliant. I wish that I could explain the kind of like mastery that Tamsyn Mir writes with. It's impossible. If you haven't read the Locked Tomb series, what are you doing? Log off this app and go pick up Gideon. Why are you here?